Hey, it's Conrad the Mortgage Guy, and we are live at grillingjr.com. And of course, we couldn't do it without the Hall of Famer himself, the voice of professional wrestling, Mr. Jim Ross. Jim, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I've been busy, got a lot of things going on. Found out this week that through my communication with Tony Khan that he wants me to be in London at the O2 to call a couple of matches. And so,
All right.
yeah, I'm going to London. And that's a hell of a building. It's, as you and I were chatting before we started recording, it's London's version of Madison Square Garden. It's the arena. And I've played it several times. It's always cool. Crowd's always lively. It seems like they come there and they anticipate greatness because of all the precedent that building has set with great shows, big time things. And there's not a rock and roll band in the country that's alive and can travel that hasn't played that building. It's the building. So that excites me. And card's good. I watched Dynamite last night. Good show. MJF and what's his name?
Mark Briscoe.
Mark Briscoe had a hell of a good match. I thought they had a real good outing. So, and I kind of like the strategy that AEW is utilizing right now as far as their venues are concerned. That's kind of neat. They're playing that little hall in Chicago.
Aragon Ballroom. That was fun, wasn't it?
It looked good for wrestling. You know, they had crowds looked strong and they were loud, and that's kind of what you look for. All an arena is nowadays is a TV studio. That's what they are. It's not the same mindset as the old days when you had all these live events and these specific buildings. It's a little different proposition now, but it's, if you're looking at budgetary efficient, this is the way to go. I think they got a good plan there. Tony's got a good idea, and they save on production costs and setup costs by playing the same venue. So, you know, it's just a different a landscape and a ball game than WWE is right now. So it's good stuff. But I'm excited about going to London. Conrad and I made a trip over there one time.
Right before the pandemic. Wasn't that wild?
Yeah, we got lucky.
Right before the world changed. I mean, we were home just days and it all changed. And we're just days away from Forbidden Door. It's going down at the O2 Arena. And we've just learned the voice of wrestling, Jim Ross, is going to be there. And boy, is he going to be calling some big matches, I'm sure. The one I'm in particular excited about is Okada and Swerve Strickland. These guys have only ever had one other singles match. It ended in a DQ. It was a television show here in America. But this is the first time they'll get to pull out all the stops. They don't have to worry about commercials. They can go as long as they need. It's Okada and Swerve Strickland for the AEW Unified Championship. Jim, you've called so many of Okada's big-time matches, even going back to his New Japan career. And Swerve Strickland, I think you could argue, he's one of the modern-day pillars of AEW. What do you expect in this one, Jim?
A lot of physicality, smoothness, nothing clumsy. I think they'll tell good stories without question. So I'm looking forward to that. That's a hell of I hope I get to call that one. I'm a big Okada fan. He rises to the occasion every time there's a lot of lights on. He's just a very talented guy, and he seems to be motivated by the atmosphere that he's competing in, performing in, if you will. So I expect greatness, and that's the thing about these AEW shows, these big shows. The talents realize how important it is to perform at a high level, and they do. I can't think of one instance, Conrad, and you can correct me as you know, and if you want. I can't think of any big show where the talent has let us down. They just perform at a high level. This brings out the best. That's what you get sometimes with a young talent roster. And I hope those guys look at it that way. They're mining for opportunity. And you do that on these TV shows, especially the big events like this Forbidden Door coming up in London at the O2. So, you know, look, it's going to be fun. And the trip's not bad. I haven't got my travel yet, but I'll probably travel from Jacksonville to either Atlanta or Dallas. Atlanta for Delta and Dallas for American, and we'll see how that works out. It's the same, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I'm going to be nonstop from the States to London, which is something that's valued in our world.
Something else that's valued in our world is timeless Toni Storm. I feel like she's one of the most clearly defined characters in wrestling, arguably one of the most entertaining characters in the history of wrestling. Like, her presentation has just been off the charts. The transformation's amazing. I mean, I hope that this run lasts a long time. I sure am having a lot of fun with it. But online, man, there has been a groundswell behind Athena building over the last year. Just the hype for her going into All In weekend. And now we know she won the Casino Gauntlet at All In. This is her title shot. Athena stepping up to the plate against timeless Toni Storm. You got one of the more well-established characters and one that seems to have a lot of momentum right now. What do you expect in this one, Jim?
Well, I think Toni Storm is my MVP. She's my favorite AEW wrestler right now. She's just, she books a lot of her own stuff, and she's creative as hell. It's the in-match creative, like an agent would do. Now, they have agents for these matches, no doubt about it, and they contribute without question. But Toni Storm she's something special. She's my MVP. I can't remember her having a non-entertaining outing on television. She's just really, really creative. Now, she's married to what's that kid's name?
Juice Robinson.
Yeah, Juice.
Who's back with a whole new look. I mean, he switched it up completely coming into All In, didn't he?
Yeah, and it was for the better, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, I think if anything they do in that household is reinvent themselves. I mean, we've seen how flexible the Juice Robinson character could be. I mean, if you saw the silly shit they had him doing in NXT, and then the evolution of that character into New Japan, and then, of course, with the big entourage here in AEW, and now sans beard, like, he just continues to evolve the look and presentation, much like somebody else in that household, Mrs. Toni Storm.
Yeah, and that's the way you do it.
Yes.
They got the right idea. Keep yourself fresh.
Yes.
And don't wait for the quote unquote booking committee or whatever you're going to call it, the creative group. Don't wait on them to come up with it for you. Help them come up with some ideas. And I found out very clearly, and this makes sense in management, if you give these people an opportunity to be involved in the creative process, they invest in it more readily and more thoroughly. And they usually help make it a success because they don't want to fail, especially if it's partly their idea. So she's just really, really good. I watched last night, she came out to the ringside, and it was a whole presentation. Her facials, her physicality, that when she got involved, she's an old school throwback that is, like I said, my MVP of AEW right now. And I'm happy that she's doing well. She's a real nice person. And, Juice and I have our little issue with
Jay White back in the day.
Yeah, and it's over. I wasn't mad long. Just they were careless. And I got lucky I didn't get hurt. But those guys are. I hadn't seen speaking of the other guy. Where's he been? Is he hurt?
I believe, yeah, he had an injury situation similar to Juice. Juice was on the shelf for a bit, but he is back now, and we are glad that you are back listening to us here at grillingjr.com. We're previewing Forbidden Door, which is coming up at the end of the month, and that was a term once upon a time, Jim, for one company working with another, which felt kind of revolutionary when Tony Khan first started doing it. And well, now WWE's in on it. We've got a joint Triple Mania coming up with WWE and AAA. We know that TNA and WWE have been doing things. I think it's interesting that now that it's been well established that AEW had working relationships with CMLL and New Japan. Now WWE is doing that. So maybe what was once forbidden isn't quite so forbidden. But I love these cards where you've got something for everybody. Like even the Mercedes Moné match We know that there's going to be a CMLL competitor in there and a Stardom competitor in there. If you're looking for international flavor, where else can you see Tanahashi on pay-per-view? It's going to happen at Forbidden Door at the O2. You heard Jim bragging about that building. Hey, I wanted to mention this too, because you guys come right back from there. That show's on Sunday, August 24th. It'll be live on pay-per-view on Amazon.
Right.
But on that following Wednesday, you're in Philadelphia at the corner of Swanson and Rittner, the old ECW arena, the 2300 arena. That's where they're going to do their second residency. I say second because they just finished one in Chicago. I think they were in Cleveland as you and I are recording on Thursday morning. I think they were in Cleveland last night. A few more stops on the way before they, jump over to London. But when they come back and they go to the old ECW arena, I don't know what made me think of this, but I don't think you've ever called a match there, have you?
I can't recall. I was thinking of that myself, Connie. I can't think of an instance where I was there. I've been in the building, autograph sessions and things like that, convention type deals, but I don't think I've ever called a match there. So I'm looking forward to it. The building's got a lot of history, and I was never an ECW hater. My department helped fund them for quite some time, about $50,000 a month. So it's pretty good. But I'm excited about this rest of this month and going to going to London. I love that building, as you can tell. And I'm not sure.
O2 Arena really made an impression on you, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's just got so much history.
Yeah.
It's like playing the Garden in the States.
Yeah.
Everybody's been there. The Beatles, Elvis, blah, blah, blah. And the same thing for the O2, the Rolling Stones and
Wow.
Fleetwood Mac and all these bands have played there. And the building's got so much history. It's just, you feel it when you walk in. And I hope that the talent feel the same thing I'm feeling, that it's a night to be special. And we'll see if they live up to that hype.
I quickly looked it up. The O2 Arena, which has been open since 2007, has hosted Beyonce, the Rolling Stones, Adele, Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift, U2, Justin Timberlake, Celine Dion,
Woo.
Bon Jovi, Rod Stewart, Rihanna, Jay-Z, Prince, Justin Bieber. A lot of history there, and history will be made on August 24th. Forbidden Door, followed up by the ECW Arena. I hope, since there's a residency there, I don't think you'd want to go to London and then come straight in and do commentary in Philly. Maybe you want to, but in my head, if they're going to be there a few weeks, man, I hope Tony calls you up and you get to call one at the ECW Arena, because that's another thing to check off the list.
I can make that request. And I did the same thing about the O2. I sent Tony a text, which we don't text a lot. I said, are you interested in me being in London for the O2 at the O2? And he said, absolutely. If you feel like traveling, I'd love to have you there. So I said, well, I feel like traveling, and let's go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be good. He's worked so well with me and around my inconvenienced illness, which is a different ballgame now. But I feel a lot better. Don't have any lingering issues, and I got good doctors. I got a great oncologist, and she's handsome too, boy. Whew. Really, really pretty woman, and a nice woman. So she takes good care of me, and all I want to hear is you're cancer free, and that's what the verdict has been the last several weeks, and that's important to me. You get to be my age, Conrad. You don't know any of these setbacks, man.
Right.
You wonder how quickly you're going to recover from another one or something else. Pardon me. So I'm pumped about that. But I'd love to call a match or two or a show or whatever at 2300 Arena, because it's got there's a lot of history. People make fun of ECW at times, and their cast of crazy characters.
It was influential, if nothing else. No one can deny that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and they did the best they could with what they had to work with. They didn't have the budget WWE does, or even AEW has, to produce high level, good looking shows with great lighting and audio and all that stuff. So it's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. I think it's a smart move by AEW. I really do. I think it's a smart move. A lot of people will go there just for the nostalgic feel, or the fact that they have not attended an event at the 2300 Arena in their lifetime. So let's get after it. Have some fun. Should be good, man.
Hey, I do want to ask, when we're thinking about historic buildings that you did or didn't get a chance to work, you never called anything at the Sportatorium, did you?
Yeah.
Did you? Okay, that's cool.
I filled in a couple of times, once in Dallas and once in Fort Worth, when announcers are on vacation. The Cowboy loaned me for a show to help out. The booker, Ken Mantell, was the booker when I went down there. And Kenny is an old friend of mine, and we'd worked together at WWE, or excuse me, we worked together. Where did we work together? Oh, in Mid-South, obviously. Duh. So I'm a big fan of that, of being able to do that. It was fun. It was exciting. It was a fresh look. It was a fresh coat of paint, and we did a little remodeling, and it was good. And all the talents I was very familiar with, because number one, their TV boomed into Oklahoma on cable, and a lot of the guys had worked for Cowboy before, and I'd got to have a relationship with them and meet them and so forth. So it was a fun experience for a veteran announcer to do something a little bit different, but still not leave your day job. So I'm a big fan of being able to do that. That's kind of like I look forward to the O2. You read a list of stars, performers that have played there. It's pretty damn impressive. It's the building. I mean, if you're going to, and the perception of playing the building is positive. So we'll see how it works out at the end of the day. But I'm going to fly over there. I'm working on my travel now. I just haven't figured out. I can't remember what, I think it's American. One of them has no TV monitors. That might be American. I'm not sure. But you want to make sure you got your iPad loaded up and some things to watch if you want to. It just passes the time away. Because at one point in time on those flights, Conrad, as you well know, it gets very quiet.
Yeah.
People go to sleep. And some people go to sleep right away. So I'm pumped about that opportunity. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel healthy. It makes me mentally it's positive. So I plan on going over there and kicking ass as best I can and bring it. I'm going to bring it, Connie.
Well, I know when it comes to supper, you bring it, thanks to our friends at Home Chef.
Oh, yeah.
With school starting back and everybody's schedule starting to fill up pretty fast, preparing dinner for family can feel overwhelming. But Home Chef simplifies mealtime with over 35 different tasty meals and 18 delightful extras each week, including kid-friendly options that your little ones will actually enjoy. That makes dinner effortless, nutrition, and family approved, no matter how busy the season gets. You see, Home Chef delivers fresh ingredients and chef-designed recipes conveniently to your doorstep to simplify your cooking experience. And users of leading meal kits have rated Home Chef #1 in quality, convenience, taste, and recipe ease. And I got to tell you, it's the only one that Jim and I continually reorder.
Yep.
This is the #1 value that we've seen. JR and I love a good deal, and it's more economical. You see, Home customers save an average of $86 a month on their groceries. Not only that, it's great stuff, and it's so easy, no matter what you're looking for. If you want a classic meal kit with pre-portioned ingredients, they got it. They can hook you up with quick 30-minute recipes. They've got oven-ready options, microwave meals. They've even got a dedicated family menu. Home Chef pretty much has everything you and your family need for hassle-free, delicious dinners. They've got over 30 options a week at Home Chef, and they serve a variety of dietary needs. And I also want to mention that they've got a brand new thing called 5-ingredient meals. It doesn't get simpler than that. These are super easy recipes that just use 5 fresh, pre-portioned ingredients. It's so easy, even Jim and I can do it. And right now, for a limited time, Home Chef is offering our listeners 50% off, plus free shipping on your first box. And
Conrad, and free dessert for life.
Come on now. Go right now to homechef.com/JR. That's homechef.com/JR. Get 50% off your first box. And what else do you get, Jim?
Free dessert for life.
Come on now. Homechef.com/JR. Of course, you must be a subscriber to receive free dessert. Boy, is there anything you and I get more excited about that we say it at the same time than free dessert for life? That was hilarious. That was fun.
No, I don't think so. It's that product is idiot proof.
Yeah.
Seriously, not just being glib and wise ass. It is idiot proof. If you can read, you can cook dinner. And then if you subscribe to the service, which why wouldn't you? You get free dessert for the rest of your days. And that ain't a bad deal.
No, it ain't. Go check it out right now. You'll be glad you did. You're going to love some Home Chef. Jim, I love our conversation about these famous arenas that you haven't yet checked off the box. 2,300, hopefully next. Is the only other one out there Arena Mexico? You've never called a match down there, have you, that I know of?
I did an angle down there one time with John Cena and some against two. I think what's that guy's name? He's a good hand. He just no. I went down there for WWE to introduce Mystico as a new WWE talent, but we didn't have a match, or I didn't work a match that day. We had an angle, Alberto Del Rio.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
And somebody, there's a tag match. My partner was John Cena, so my chances of being on the winning side were pretty good. But yeah, I played it. It's a cool building. All those buildings have their own story. They have their own feel. They have their own, for lack of a better term, their own personality. And that's why people talk endlessly about the Garden in New York City. It's the building. That's the building in the States, the entire States. And I think Arena Mexico is the building in that country, much like the O2 is the premier building in England. So they all got their own personality. They got their own little traits and advantages and so forth. So it's all good, man. It's fun to travel to these established places just to soak up the history.
Man, I don't know what to say. I am excited for us to check that off your bucket list, this 2,300 arena opportunity. I hope you can make that happen, because for a guy who's seemingly done it all, every major event, every major building, whether you're talking Wembley Stadium or the Tokyo Dome or Madison Square Garden and literally everything in between, you've done it. So 2,300 arena, man, that feels like that's within striking distance. I hope that happens for you, dude.
Yeah, and travel's easy too. From Jacksonville to
Philly, no big deal.
Philly, no, not a big deal at all. Nonstops, domestic nonstops are nice to have. So it's all good. But I'm excited about going back to London. I like London. There's no language issue to speak of. People have a hard time understanding me at times. I get it. And I have a hard time understanding them at times, especially if they talk too fast. So, yeah, it's going to be fun, man. And I'll get at least one or maybe two good meals out of it. Yeah, that's where you put value in the restaurants and the hotels. At least I do. Yeah, you want to at least have one good meal. Nothing, have the typical English breakfast, or with all the beans and the pork and beans and stuff, sausages. I'm getting hungry talking about it, but it's going to be good. Conrad, where did you and I stayed in London, or we stayed in London the first night, did we not?
We did, yes, sir. We sure did.
Yeah, I thought we did. I remember somebody overslept. But that's
that would be me. I mean, there's no doubt. My time, my clock was off for sure, and you came and saved me, and I managed to leave my wallet behind. But what a fun story! We finished the trip with me getting my wallet back. So
at the airport.
I was on scholarship that week with you, Jim. I appreciate that. You've been so nice to me since the baby came.
Thank you very much, buddy.
Hey, we're live here, and we've got a live studio audience, and we're getting some fun questions I want to hit up.
All right, good.
Here's one. I'll admit I didn't know about this, but I don't know that you and I have spent any time talking about it. Edward says, I know Buff Bagwell reached out to you at WrestleCon. Was that bizarre to you? And did you hear about his leg amputation? Buff Bagwell's been in the news in recent weeks. I guess he's been battling a leg injury for the better part of the last 5 years, and made a decision that, hey, enough is enough. I need to go ahead and figure out what the next chapter of my life looks like. So they removed the leg. And from what I understand, he's motivated and hopeful that he'll get a prosthetic and maybe even has aspirations of, I don't know if we're going to say one more match or whatever, but the idea that
somebody will, you know that.
Yeah.
Some promoter's going to be all motivated to have Buff's last match on one leg.
Or
what's
his
that
first
kid's
match.
Yeah, what's that kid's name?
Zach Gowen.
Yeah, Zach. He's a talented little bastard, Zach Gowen.
And a hell of a speaker. He's like a motivational speaker now, inspiring kids, and
good for him.
A heck of a nice guy. But I didn't know. Did you have an interaction with Buff Bagwell? How did that go?
It went all right. I was surprised that he came up to me and wanted to shake my hand and apologize for some of his misgivings. We all have them. We all do them. You can't penalize somebody forever because they've made an error in judgment. But we cleared the air. It was nice. I was happy. I'm glad it happened. But I didn't know about his leg situation until it was amputated. You're used to seeing Buff's name in the headlines for a DUI or something, and that wasn't the case here. So good for him, and hopefully he'll get straightened up and get that prosthetic that he needs and move forward and enjoy the rest of his life. He doesn't have to wrestle to be happy. That's the thing that these guys got to understand. You don't have to be a wrestler. If you were a wrestler, you got to go back there necessarily. So I'm happy for him, and hopefully it all works out.
I'm glad that he's got a goal. I feel like after you have a major setback like that, you need something to strive for, something to push for, something to keep you motivated and looking forward to. And I love the place Buff is in. I don't know if you've had a chance to see any of the stuff they've posted on social.
A little bit.
He's got a great wife or a great lady in his life, and it feels like he's in a good place mentally. I think he's doing great with his walk with sobriety, and I mean, just the idea that we've got a new chapter for Buff. I think that's pretty exciting, and I hope he's wrestling's next great success story, next great comeback story, whatever that may mean.
Yeah, me too, absolutely. He deserves to be happy.
Sure,
he's paid his dues. He's made some mistakes, as we all have, but he's righting his wrongs, shall we say, and he has a chance now to really take it full bore, the entire journey with his new leg, and I just hope he's able to stand on 2 feet.
Looking forward to seeing what's next for Buff Bagwell. Thank you for
that. He was discovered by Missy Hyatt.
Really?
Yeah, did you know that? They lived, I think, now I may have some of the details a little bit wrong, but I think they lived in the same apartment complex.
Okay.
And in the Atlanta area. And of course, Buff being the ladies' man and Missy being available at times, it seems like, that they connected, and Missy got him a tryout, and they liked his look and his personality, and he was an athletic kid. He's a good high school football player. So he's been an athlete all his life. So in any event, she turned him into the WCW folks, and as I said, they liked him. He looked good. He had a great body, handsome kid, and he had a good aptitude for the business. And so all that rolled into one gave him some tenure, and he did well for quite some time.
Well, we're pulling for Buff and excited to see what's next. We're live here at grillingjr.com, and we hope you'll make plans to join us in the future. If you haven't already, go hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications bell. You'll get a little push notification letting you know that Jim Ross is live, and you can jump on here and chat with the voice of wrestling live. Armchair Critic is with us right now, and he says, Jim, why is Austin mostly considered a bigger star than Rock, despite Rock surpassing him in 2000, and Rock's work versus Hogan, Cena, Punk, and even Cody?
Oh, good question. I think that Austin just made that amazing connection to his audience, where they loved him, whether he was a heel or a babyface or injured or not, whatever, they love Steve. And not that they didn't love Rock, they did. But it just seemed to me the feel I had was, or have, was that Austin's audience was a little bit more devoted. And I think that's probably the primary difference. Austin, the folk hero, Rock's a star. He's always going to be a star. I don't know when we're going to see him again, but you can bet your ass The Rock is not finished in WWE because there's just too many ways to use him productively. So I don't know what a bigger star means, but they both drew a lot of money. They both made a lot of money. They both were leaders of the locker room. So that's a subjective question to say the least. Is Austin why is he considered a bigger star than The Rock? I don't think that he is by a lot of people's standards, but he's just a different character. They appeal in a different way. Rock was smoother and upbrow and all that. Austin was more authentic. He was more blue collar, and more people can identify with blue collar than they can the glitz and glamour that The Rock always brought. Not that Rock didn't do well; he did. We know that. You know, it's during Hogan's untimely passing. You know, I don't know how many text message, not text, but Twitter Q, whatever the hell it's called. I don't know. I've gotten more questions on anything other than Rock and Hogan at WrestleMania 18 in Toronto. That was the subject matter. You know, we could do a whole show on that. You know, if all the legal stuff was handled, you know, it'd be a great match to do a watch along.
Yeah,
because they really use great psychology. Because they changed roles in the walkout. On the walkout, you know, Lawler and I are at ringside, and we were both a little bit shocked that people were booing Rock because they were cheering for Hogan, and Hogan just had that everlasting overness, and he was smart enough to parlay it into big money over several years. I saw the footage. You see the footage of his funeral?
I was there.
Were you?
Yeah.
Wow. Did you get me a T-shirt or anything?
I did not.
Damn you, Conrad. I bet you got a silver one.
I know. I did not. It was surreal, man. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many dozens of police officers were there, and they had to like make sure you were on the list before you got in the parking lot in your vehicle. And then when you went to the front, like they had to check you off a list, and they gave you a ticket, and that dictated where you sat, and it was a crazy, surreal deal.
Where'd you sit?
I mean, I don't. Row E. I don't know. I mean, I don't.
Did you have a good seat? Or you?
Yeah. I mean, you know, they didn't allow any media in that I know of. I know that the local church filmed it, but Indian Rocks Christian is the name of the facility. But yeah, I guess I was in the center. I mean,
how did you make the arrangements? Who was coordinating? Who was their point person in that respect?
They had a real nice like digital invite that came out that you were supposed to RSVP. And so when I got mine, I sort of threw the flag and said, man, I only had like 30 interactions with that guy. I don't really know the family. I feel weird. I feel out of place, but I was pressured and insisted. And so I said, okay, I get it. And I even had a little chat with my wife, and I was like, I don't know. I'm not a funeral guy. This feels weird. And she just was pretty straight up and said, hey, if Eric wants you to go, you know, if you asked Eric, would he go? And it's like, oh yeah, you know what? You're right. I'm there to support. I'm there to show respect. But it was kind of surreal, man. Like when I say kind of surreal, I mean like I'm seated next to Jeff and Karen Jarrett. Right in front of me is Matt Riddle and his wife. Right behind me is Dory and Marty Funk. Just past Jeff is Kevin Nash and Sean Waltman. Behind them is Kevin Owens. Next to him is Bill Alfonso.
Wow.
It's like I just walked into like the Star Wars bar. I mean, Dennis Rodman's, you know, up front wailing by the casket, and Brian Knobs is in the back boohooing, and it's like this is, and then out saunters Vince McMahon, and I don't know, it was really weird, dude. That
you sat near Vince?
No, I never saw Vince in the crowd. Everybody else went onto the stage from the front steps. Vince sort of came from stage left in the background, and it was a performance. I mean, it was, man, Vince McMahon. He knows how to captivate an audience. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he's a showman. I hate to say a showman in the terms of a funeral,
But he was.
He's a showman. And
it was kind of funny, and I'm sure he meant it to be funny. But when Triple H comes up a few, I think after Vince, they did a video, and then the pastor spoke, and they did a song or something like that. But when Triple H came up, he said something along the lines of, "You think by now I would have learned not to follow Vince McMahon," and everybody laughed. And he gave a really nice speech. I felt so bad for Jimmy Hart. It was surreal, man. It was
Jimmy Hart get very emotional.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, there were so many people that you've never seen in an emotional state. I mean, yeah. I probably shouldn't talk too much about all the people's private emotional stuff, but man, it was just such a surreal, weird experience. I was kind of surprised pictures were leaking out. Like, it felt like, I don't know, I'm not supposed to take a picture here. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I don't deal well with funeral and the finality of it. Like, I've always kind of struggled with that. And even a star the magnitude of Hulk Hogan, like realistically in my lifetime, in my little sphere of influence, like he or my friend group, he's probably one of the most top 10 famous people of our lifetime. And the idea that, you do all of this and you accomplish all this, and some of your friends and family and people come pay their respects. And then 2 hours later, it's like, where are we going for dinner? It's like, man, this is weird. So
it's still a head scratcher that he went from having a bad back, which he obviously did, to dying of a heart attack. And, I've often thought when I hear you guys I consider 71 young.
right.
Somebody just rolled their eyes. I can feel it. That he died of a heart attack, and I didn't know, I wasn't aware, you may be more versed on it than I, that he had heart issues. I thought, I hear so much about his multiple back surgeries, but I often thought maybe he had sleep apnea. Big guys like that are subjected to it. I use a CPAP machine every night. When I go to London, I'll be packing my CPAP machine and my carry-on. So they're a lifesaver, literally. But he may have had undiagnosed sleep apnea. I don't know that. But that's what happened to Reggie White, my friend that played in the NFL. He just didn't like wearing the mask. He thought it emasculated him, no pun intended. And by not wearing it, at his wife's insistence and everybody around him, it caught up to him. And he created a heart attack situation, and he died of that. So, maybe Hogan had some issues with sleep apnea, because you stop breathing. Your heart stops working for an extended length of time. I know when I took my first sleep test, Conrad, I stopped breathing 66 times in an hour.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so I was on my way to dying. As simple as that. I don't understand over dramatic here. Not looking for an Emmy, but God dang, that scares the shit out of you.
No doubt.
Boy, it didn't take me long to decide I needed to get me a CPAP machine and a mask and all that. And they said, well, I can't sleep with that on my face. And bullshit. What's your other option? Dying? Really? So if you're a big sleeper, or you snore a lot, or you catch yourself not breathing and you make those funny noises, go get checked out. It's very non-invasive, and they'll monitor your heart and do all that stuff and make sure that you're going to live a little bit longer. And I think that's pretty damn important, especially with what I've been through.
Yeah, I hope they find peace and contentment. One of the things I hate most about funerals is the way eventually it becomes a conversation of, I don't know, it just takes an ugly tone and tenor where when the family gets involved and there's all these emotions, and it's usually out of frustration and anger and disappointment and sorrow, and So I don't know exactly what's going on, but I know that, he's got a former friend, I guess, who was in radio, and Brooke wasn't at the funeral. And I just hate to hear that there's any sort of family.
Was Bubba the Love Sponge there?
No.
Really?
No.
I thought they were buddies.
No, sir. That's worth a Google, I guess.
Huh.
Let's talk about WWE and ESPN. This was the big news from yesterday. ESPN is going to be paying an average of $325 million per year on a new 5-year deal for WWE's premium live events. This starts in 2026. Peacock had previously locked this up for around $180 million a year over a 5-year deal. And Nick Khan is banking here that the audience will follow. And I think a lot of people were really caught off guard by this. And I know some people were kind of upset, thinking that, oh, this is the way the UFC's gone before, and some other sports that people follow. I don't want to pay $30 a month for ESPN Plus or whatever it is. But I guess they sort of buried the lead that if you have ESPN through your regular cable subscription service, like if you have YouTube TV or you have Direct TV or whatever, and you have ESPN, you're now just going to get the PLEs next year, Jim. So anybody with ESPN next year gets to watch WrestleMania. It does feel like that can't help but make it even bigger. What say you?
It's going to expand the audience, and more people are going to be able to sample it without going to a lot of trouble, because ESPN's been around so long and they're so established that I can see the similarities and the comparisons between a WWE fan and a Sports Center fan. I'm addicted to Sports Center. I'm addicted to ESPN the last few days because I'm a huge Little League Baseball fan. And I watched Overloaded. I went down the rabbit hole and watched a ton of kids baseball. Got to hand it to the announcers. They do a good job, because they realize the game is about the kids and what they are bringing to the dance and how they've prepared and their backgrounds and what's their favorite dessert, what's their favorite movie, and all these things. I love that stuff. So I'm glad. I think that's a good deal for WWE. I really do. I think it's a real good deal for WWE. A lot of people are going to sample the premium live events that heretofore have not, because it's going to be so simple. It's going to be on ESPN. So we'll see how it works out for them. They're getting plenty of money for it. It seems to me like, and good for them. Again, we said this before, Conrad, and I think you agree that high tide raises all ships.
Oh yeah, buddy.
And as I've said here on the show, when McMahon went big after WrestleMania 3 and forward, I never dreamed that I'd be a part of it, but I was, and I'm proud to say that I was. But man, I think they made a good move there. They expanded their potential for a larger audience, and if they're doing good booking, which they have been, and they got good talent, which they do, then maybe they develop a whole bunch of new fans. If people become new fans of WWE, then by osmosis, if that's the correct term to use, they're going to be fans of AEW. And that's what I'm interested in, because that's who pays me.
Yeah, listen, that's hard to argue. When you really fall in love with something, you start doing more of it. And I hope that this is good for the entire wrestling business. I know a lot of fans, myself included, we're all sort of wondering, hey, what happens to the archives? I don't imagine that that'll all go to ESPN. Will they do another deal with Peacock just for the archives? Will they just put them all on YouTube? Yeah. But there were a lot of people who fell in love with the WWE network, 11, 12 years ago.
All right.
And I think the idea of not having all those shows at their fingertips has got some of them nervous. But something you never have to be nervous about is if you have a handgun for self-defense. Your storage likely fits into one of two frustrating categories, meaning it's either locked away, so it's safe, but it's out of reach in case of an emergency, or it's unsecured, which means you're going to leave it vulnerable to anyone. Well, Stopbox USA saw the problem and designed a groundbreaking solution we call the Stopbox Pro. And with the Stopbox Pro, you'll never have to choose between security and readiness again. Its ingenious push-button locking system gives you fast, reliable access when every second matters without the hassle of keys or reliance on batteries. It's 100% mechanical, so it works every time with no power needed. And with the Stopbox USA, you can finally have both security and readiness. The Stopbox Pro's mechanical keyless system allows for fast, secure access without the risk of fumbling for keys when every second counts. It's also battery free, so you never have to worry about your lock not working. And you don't have to worry about tariffs because everything is sourced right here in the USA. All Stopbox products are proudly made in the USA in their own facility. Just make sure that they have the highest quality of every product that gets sent out. It also creates meaningful jobs and opportunities here in America. Did I mention that the Stopbox Pro was also TSA compliant? Yeah, you can check this right through your online your baggage airline travel. I'll get it out. I just can't believe that that's even possible, but Stopbox Pro did it, man. TSA compliant. They've also got a lot of other cool essential gear designed to keep you prepared and protected wherever you are. Stuff like the vehicle safe and even chamber lock. Go check them out right now. And for a limited time only, you can get a crazy deal on Stopbox. Get 15% off your entire order when you use our code JR. And for even better savings, I want you to shop their bundles. That's where you'll get the best deals on their best-selling products. So check out their bundles and save an exclusive 15% off site-wide when you use the code JR at StopboxUSA.com. Discover a better way to balance security and readiness with Stopbox.
You know, Conrad, I investigated my bundle this week, and it was a good experience. Just threw that in there. So that's a good product. And you stop and think about it. How many people have unprotected guns stored someplace?
Yeah.
And they got children or grandchildren or nephews or whatever. It's just a smart way of doing business. And you can access your gun and your stop box in a blink of an eye. So to me, it never made any sense to have your gun put away to where you couldn't get access to it on a moment's notice. And these crooks aren't going to call you and say, "Hey, I'm coming over to rob you." Be aware. They just show up. So it's all good. Conrad, I got in your world this week a little bit. I hadn't done it in a long time, but I got me I think I got a new real estate agent to sell my condo here in Jacksonville.
Oh, look at you, dude. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I may need your advice on a couple of things, but
Be glad to help.
the market's good for what I'm selling.
Oh, yeah. You think on the beach? Come on.
Yeah, it's good. And you know, when I bought this place, I paid cash for it, so I'll be getting a nice check. Some I've already invested, but boy, there's good profit margins, and at this time of the year, especially for what I'm selling, they just don't manufacture a lot of beachfront property. That's you know, you've been here. I don't have a big place, but it's comfortable. It's sure as hell enough for a couple or an individual. 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and so I'm moving toward that Oklahoma move because
You're going home, Jim.
I am going home.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm going back to Oklahoma. I got my buddies there, and a lot of them, not a lot of them, but several of them are doctors. I don't have to get accustomed or acquainted with new physicians and all that stuff. And when you get to be my age at 73, even though I'm healthy right now and I'm cancer free and all that good stuff, you still want to have the potential. If you need a doctor, you can get in to see one without going through a bunch of hoops. So I don't know when that's going to always happen. It'll happen sometime this year, but the housing market, per my meetings, is healthy right now. And as you said, especially for what I'm selling.
Man, I'm so excited to hear that. You know, Raphael Morphy and I, we love you to death, and we've wanted you to be with that support system. I mean, in Oklahoma, man, you're Jim effing Ross, and I'm excited that you're going to be back in your old stomping grounds. That's exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And I'll get, pardon me, excuse me, I'll get to see a little football.
Hell yeah.
You know, my friend Wallace Marsh and I hang together a lot. He's got a home in Norman. He lives in Houston, old guy. But he's got a suite that seats 16 or 18. It's huge. And so I got a standing invite to come to any and all games I want in his suite, which is air conditioned, is across the hall from a bathroom. It's got good catering, all the stuff that I need to have in my life. Bathroom, catering, that kind of thing. We've got 6 or 8 TVs up there with different games on. It's a football fan's dream. And Wallace handles all the invites and all the catering. So I just got to show up and shake a few hands and take some pictures, and enjoy the ball game.
Well, I'm glad you're going home, man. I can't wait to see you attend some Oklahoma games this fall. And hey, I also want to get your take on what happened this past weekend. You know, it was obviously massive news on Wednesday when we learned about the ESPN WWE deal. But the entire wrestling world was talking about SummerSlam on Saturday and Sunday. I do want to ask, did you have a chance to catch any of SummerSlam at all, Jim? And if so,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Well, you know, we excuse me, and I heard the thunder in the background. We've had a lot of rain here in Jacksonville lately, 4 inches a day or two ago, and so, and everybody was bragging about that. First time I heard anybody brag about 4 inches, but nonetheless, it is what it is. I watched both nights. It was raining, storming. Why not? And I love wrestling. And so I was able just to sit on my couch and prop my feet up, shall we say, and enjoy the presentation. I thought it was very well booked. When you look at all your potential matches and how they're going to be programmed, that's a big, big decision, and you just hope that it works out good. And it did. So if Paul Levesque was the one that put the matches together, their order, he did a marvelous job. I thought the agents did a great job of trying to make their matches a little bit different. That's so hard to do. It'd be like telling somebody, you got to eliminate all clotheslines. Can't have any clotheslines. What? Well, what am I going to do? I don't know. Learn to work, I guess. Might be an idea. So, but I enjoyed both nights, Conrad, to be honest with you. I was surprised that Michael Cole and Wade Barrett did the commentary on both nights.
Yeah.
And they did a good job. They told Cole's at top of his game and just doing phenomenal. And Wade Barrett just gets better all the time. His advantage that he has is that he has that British accent that cuts through the clutter and makes him sound different. And if he sounded different, just for sounding different, that's not a good reason. But he brings good content. So Wade Barrett's one of the unsung stars of WWE's broadcast, I think. So, and I guess it means McAfee's gone, huh?
Yep. At least for now. I mean, who knows how long he'll be gone, but he's making something crazy like 60 million a year from ESPN. So I'm sure just doing the show every day and then doing, you know, some of his other promotional stuff that he does on the weekends and doing Monday Night Raw, it's probably a lot. So he probably tapped. I think burnout's a real thing, and I'm not surprised that he's going through it. I mean, he's been burning at both ends for like 5-6 years now.
Yeah. He's hitting it hard.
Yeah.
And I thought he was coming along doing nicely. He's a talented guy, he's a smart guy. But I try to watch. You ever watch the show on ESPN?
I do, yes.
I think it's interesting. I like it. It's personal. It's straightforward. So anyway, he had a nice little run there. If nothing else, he's developed a new skill set in a new area. Because doing pro wrestling commentary ain't easy. It's not easy whatsoever. So, and there's so many critics out there that, you know, because I've been a victim of it. You know, you say the wrong thing, you hit the wrong date, hit the wrong name, and people take it as a personal affront, and I think that's kind of silly. But in any event, you hear that thunder?
That's thunder?
Yeah, storming here.
We got to get you to Oklahoma.
Yeah, all we have is tornadoes, not hurricanes.
I do want to ask you about SummerSlam. Of course, the big takeaway on Saturday night that everybody was talking about was Seth Rollins. After we had heard he was injured,
Mhm.
it turns out it was just an angle. We were working the boys and working the sheets, and we're all doing it for the new WWE Unreal series. I'm sure that'll be a part of season 2. But Seth Rollins, after a 30-minute match where CM Punk became the world champion, just a couple of minutes later, we see CM Punk drop the title to Seth Rollins on the cash in. And I saw mixed reactions online. Saw some people saying, "Oh, this was predictable," and "Oh, I hate the cash ins." But I also think, hey, if they're pissed off, that's kind of the idea. What do you think of this creative? Seth Rollins is your new world champion.
Well, he got them talking, and that's one thing that you can't get too much of. Your fan base, your excuse me, your marketing base, reacting to the creative, and they motivated the audience to make an emotional investment in what was going on. Uh, so I liked it. I thought it was very, very well done. I thought the reveal that Rollins was healthy and this whole thing was a ruse was extremely well done. Great creative, great facials, great body English, all that stuff. I kind of felt bad as a friend to Phil Brooks, aka CM Punk, because he didn't get to be champion long, but I think he proved that he's got an audience, he's got a following. So we'll see how that works out over the long haul. I'd say he's in real good shape by the looks of the roster and his popularity. I'd say that CM Punk is in very good shape in WWE right now.
Yeah, I think so too. I assume that we're going to see another layer of this Seth Rollins CM Punk story. I, for one,
You should.
hope that we get a Hell in a Cell that rivals the one that Punk had with Drew McIntyre. I think you could put it up there with one of the best Hell in a Cells of all time. So looking forward to what's next there. But what everybody was really surprised about was the way they handled John Cena. On Friday night, after, I don't know, we're 6 or 7 months into this heel turn, he just abandoned course and said, "Hey, my bad. I was wrong. I'm a good guy. Please cheer me. I want to be regular John Cena again." And fans embraced it. And even his entrance on Sunday night, they started with like the heel Videotron, and it immediately switched to the John Cena we all know and love. And I thought they had a terrific match, he and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
It's much better than the whatever you want to call the WrestleMania main event. I think SummerSlam was actually better than WrestleMania, certainly with regard to the Cody and John Cena match. I heard someone say it's the best match John Cena's had in over a decade. I don't even think you can argue that. It's a fantastic match. But when it was over, Cody Rhodes was the world champion. But unfortunately, that's not what everyone will remember. They'll remember when that music hit that we thought we'd never hear again, just a few weeks after Daniel Cormier had said, "Oh, Brock Lesnar's on the banned list from TKO. He is back." Dave Meltzer is reporting that he was cleared by the WWE's legal system 3 or 4 weeks ahead of this return. So their attorneys, based on what everybody's saying, believe that the case that Vince McMahon is facing will wind up in arbitration, which means that, well, there won't be anything for Brock Lesnar to do. There's no criminal charges, but there is a civil charge. And a lot of people who've paid attention to the way TKO has allowed the UFC to manage some of their troubled athletes and their off the field antics, they think this is a pattern with TKO. They take a look at guys like John Jones and Conor McGregor and even Dana White and see what happened and what was kind of quietly swept under the rug, and we just moved on. And so people are kind of, I think, understandably frustrated on some level. Like, hey, we don't know what all's going on here. But in the moment, as you see in the background here, even on the photo, wrestling fans, including our buddy 2K, Bryce Yang from 2K, right over Brock's shoulder.
I just noticed, though, you're right over Brock's left shoulder. Bryce is a good guy.
Tremendous guy. People were shocked, Jim. They didn't expect to see him back. And that's what wrestling fans like. They like surprises.
Yeah.
That was kept quiet from everybody, including the commentators. When you saw Brock Lesnar was back, A, were you shocked? And B, what do you make of this online reaction?
I don't know if my egos will let me say I was shocked, but I was certainly surprised. And if you want to use shocked, then that's fine too. It's accurate. Might be a little extreme, but I was very surprised. He was massive. My God, he's big, and he's not sloppy. He's tight. Body's tight. He looks like he's been working out. All those guys want to pump. They want their arms, and they're going to do things to blow themselves up a little bit. That's fine. It's all aesthetics. It's all showbiz anyway in that respect. So, but I was very surprised, and I thought, boy, what an interesting way to end this show, because it's going to pose more questions than provide answers, and that's always a good formula.
Lots of people were upset about Brock Lesnar's return, mentioning that he was named 44 times in that lawsuit, and they're listing some other off the field problems he's had throughout his career. And Triple H seemingly looked to, I think, get in front of this a little bit.
Maybe.
Where he said something like, "This is John Cena's wish list." It's him writing the last chapter of his book. And I think people saw a conversation with us where he said, we'd have to screw it up pretty badly to ruin his career. But it's not about that for me. It's about John being able to go out the way he wants to go out, to write his chapter. I know what that's like as a performer. I know what that's like for everybody to feel that. And I think for John to be able to do what he wants to do, one of the very first things I said to him is, who do you want and how? And we're working through that. So it feels like, right afterwards, he's saying, hey, this is what John wanted. And John, I feel like, almost played not it the next day, because he said something along the lines of, I've been saying the same thing for 25 years. They deal them, I play them. I'm just really excited. We got like 12 of these things left. I think SummerSlam was an indication from the audience where everybody kind of knows where we're closing our book. And just because I close my book in December, that doesn't mean the WWE closes its books. They got to continue their programming going forward. So they're just trying to make the most exciting shows for the fans. A dozen of them I got left. They deal them, I play them. I've always liked that about John Cena, where he doesn't bitch about creative. He just goes and does it. And as Dutch Mantel would say, run the play. But it feels like everybody was sort of not wanting to address the unhappiness with the Brock Lesnar return, even noting that WWE strategically with this event decided no more post-match pressers. They instead did a post-show, but no more press conferences where reporters can ask questions, because they would have been asking questions about Brock Lesnar. They would have been asking questions about Triple H standing at Donald Trump's shoulder this past week. WWE, do they have a PR problem right now, Jim?
No, they don't, man. They got it. They get their talent booked on some of the damnedest things. The thing with Triple H was, I thought, a coup. It's a great photo op. It looked good. It sounds good. It fits Triple H's personality, and he fit right in that group shot that many of us saw last week. So their PR machine is rolling, and so whoever's involved in that department right now, I don't have any idea, deserves an attaboy or attagirl, pat on the back, because they're winning their wars.
It's going to be interesting to see where they go from here. It does feel like there's a lot of chatter about WWE, and I wonder if some of the consumer confidence and the people who are bragging about, oh my gosh, it's so much better with Triple H than it was with Vince. It feels like some of them are, feeling like this is more of the same. It felt like, I don't know, there was a renewed optimism in WWE amongst the internet wrestling community. Some of that seems to be dissipating, Jim. I know that, this is a business. So TKO is going to navigate. I mean, their North Star is going to be profit and loss. And so they're looking at total revenues and, hey, what's the bottom line? And that's the way they're going to run that business. They're going to make shareholder value the priority. But it does feel like in the court of public opinion, WWE is got to slay a few dragons, I think.
Yeah. Some wounds heal slowly.
Yeah.
They do. But they're doing based on what I read, and I'm not in contact with them. I have a lot of friends that still work there. Triple H is a friend, if I see something really good on TV, I text him, let him know that was good stuff. Because sometimes they need to hear that from somebody that knows what the fuck they're talking about. And I know what I'm talking about. I'm breaking my arm, patting myself on the back, but after being in the business 50 years, it hasn't changed fundamentally that much. You still got protagonists and antagonists. You got personal issues, which are always the best kind. Personal issues can outrace a title match if done correctly. So I had a good I have a good relationship with those guys in that respect. But I love where I am because nobody has ever taken care of me as good as Tony Khan is and has. So and that's why I'm so content about being there. I want to stay there in AEW, and I want to work more. I want to be able to contribute more. So that's my goal, is to stay healthy and contribute more to the company that pays me. And if that's wrong, then shame on my ass.
Jim, I know I probably shouldn't be asking this on air because we are live, so we can move on if you'd rather. But how much longer are you under contract to AEW? Are you under a long-term deal, or I don't even know the status of your deal with AEW?
I think my contract's up in August.
Like this month?
Yeah.
But you're going to renew, you think?
Well, I'm hopeful.
I mean, yeah, shit. We just talked about it. You're going to Forbidden Door, so you're not going anywhere. You're sticking around.
I'm not planning on going anywhere.
Good.
I like my part-time schedule. Lets me keep my batteries charged. I like working for Tony Khan because he's always been fair and civil to me, and that I appreciate. Whenever he produces announce talent, and I would hear him on headsets like these. Oftentimes, I don't even hear him because he's not overly hyped and active, and he certainly has the ability to be. He owns it. He's smart. It's easy to be a little eccentric and be a pain in the ass producing an announce talent. It's not an easy job. And it can really screw your announcers up by getting them off rhythm and screwing up with their timing. So, but yeah, I haven't, Barry Bloom is my agent.
I forget. Yeah. You'll be fine.
And so Barry's got a lot of guys in the AEW roster working, that he represents. So probably 6 or 8 and top players. So he's working on it. I'm not worried about it. As you can tell by my demeanor, I'm not taking it for granted, or they can't do business without JR. They can, and they have, and they will again.
Young wrestlers, make it a goal in your career. I know some of you who are listening to this have a goal of main eventing a WrestleMania. Others of you have a goal of having championship gold around your waist, or maybe even being the world champion. Those are great goals. And I recommend you bump them down, and your chief goal being, I want Barry Bloom to be my agent. If Barry Bloom is your agent, everything's going to work out.
It could. He's pretty efficient.
Yeah.
He's been doing it a long time. I met Barry when I think he represented, who the hell was it he represented at that time? Moses. Yeah.
He's been doing it a long time, and he's good at it.
Yeah, he's good at it. That's the thing about it. And he's built a nice little base there in AEW too. He's got a lot of, like I said, 6 or 8 top guys, including Kenny Omega.
A who's who of guys living a good life because of Barry Bloom. So roll tide to Mr. Bloom.
That's right.
Hey, let's talk about Bret Hart here for a minute. I kind of was caught off guard with something he said recently, and well, I won't name another Hall of Famer, but I had a conversation with another Hall of Famer, and they were saying, "Hey man, what about this Gunther guy? He's the shits." And I thought to myself,
wow,
what? Because I don't know, maybe I'm seeing something totally different. I was so excited. I loved Walter's independent career. I loved what he's done in WWE. He's one of my favorite guys to watch in WWE. But I heard this old timer say he's the shits. And he was even saying Pat McAfee was a better entertainer and was a better athlete and had a better match. And I'm like, wait, what? Well, so now I'm hearing from Bret Hart. I don't know if you saw this, but he said, I don't want to sound like I'm tooting my own horn all the time, but the best wrestling has to pretend to be real. I mean, that's what I did. I tried to make it as real as I could. Contrary to that Gunther guy, I hate wrestlers that hurt each other on purpose. I hate it when you're out there getting beat up and hurt by a guy for real. He's talking about chops, look like shit. They make a big slap sound, but they hurt. It's not supposed to be real. Like, I'm not supposed to really wake up with a sore chest the next day. So I have no respect for guys that hurt each other all the time. And it's just, to me, lazy shit wrestling when guys like Gunther, and I've told him this to his face, it's bullshit. Like, when you're hurting somebody for real, you're unprofessional. And I wrestle guys, never hurt anybody. So he said this on the Masked Man show. But I mean, I know that he hates chops. He's even said this and made it clear about Ric Flair. It's always been a criticism of Flair. I don't know though, man. I like Gunther. I love his style. I think he has credibility. It's believable. I'm a fan of Gunther. I wonder how much of this is being critical of his work and how much of this is Bret just hates chops.
I think the chops have a big priority in this discussion. A lot of guys like Bret who's so deadly against chops, and I can understand his point. I should have kept a tally of how many chops I saw this weekend at the 2 SummerSlam events. A lot of them, man. And so at a certain point in time, as a viewer even, and specifically, you've seen it once, you've seen it again, and you don't need to see it again. Type thing. It's just enough is enough. So that's kind of where I am on that chop thing. I think it can be over. It's not. It is effective when used properly, like most things in wrestling. But it's just a matter of, I don't know, Conrad. It just doesn't seem. It seems like it's overused. Anything that's overused is not a positive.
Yeah. Well, something that I know is not overused in my household is jrsbbq.com. I'm specifically talking about the all-purpose seasoning. You've heard me brag about this for years. JR says it's good on your protein. Let's good on your popcorn. It's good on your eggs. It's good on your steak, your chicken, your fish, whatever you got. It makes everything taste a little better. They've also got all your sauce you could need. 2 types of barbecue sauce, a special ketchup, a special mustard, even a new hot sauce. But there's a lot more than just your consumable products like that. Did you know you can get autographed action figures and trading cards and even books? All this and more available now at jrsbbq.com. It's open 24/7. And as the voice of wrestling always says, it costs nothing to look, right, Jim?
It costs nothing to look, ladies and gentlemen. So the price is right for all of us. And these make great gift ideas. They're just great gift ideas. Birthdays, the Father's Days that passed by here lately. But holiday gifts. This is a great stocking stuffer. So we appreciate your consideration. And if you shop with us, we thank you.
Go check it out. You'll be glad you did. It's jrsbbq.com. Jim, we are looking forward to next week's episode here because we're going to be talking about SummerSlam 2005. It will be just a few days shy of the 20-year anniversary. And how fitting we're talking about SummerSlam 05 because that is Hulk Hogan's last big hurrah in WWE. He's going to have a singles match with the incredible Shawn Michaels, and we'll break it down, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll talk about what went into that match behind the scenes, all the big negotiations, Dusty Rhodes having a conversation about coming to work for WWE. There's a lot of moving parts when we talk about 2005, and I'm looking forward to that next week. And I'm also looking forward to hearing what's next for you in Oklahoma, man. Do you have any sort of timetable in mind of when you'd like to be back, or is it just around football season? Because we're zeroing in. We're just a few weeks away from kickoff.
I know, but I can stay at my house if I want to there. So I have no gun to my head. I'm not in a massive hurry. I know what the properties around me, like next door and 2 doors down, have sold for in the last month. So, and it's all good numbers. So we just got to find a buyer. And if you want to live on the beach and a newly renovated condo fully furnished, this ain't a bad deal.
Go check him out. I can't believe it. Jim Ross is coming home. We're going to be talking about it in the coming weeks. We're also going to be talking about Forbidden Door. And of course, we got our fingers crossed, knock on wood, that the Voice of Wrestling is going to check that 2,300 arena box off the list.
Yeah, I'm ready.
It's going to be fun, man. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about Brock Lesnar, what you think about WWE just sort of changing direction on the John Cena heel turn. We want to hear from you in the comments. We also want to hear what you think about the new ESPN deal. Are you worried about where the archives are going? We're going to continue to have these conversations in the coming weeks because, as with everything else, Jim, it just continues to evolve. And we sure do appreciate everybody hanging out with us here on a Thursday morning. It's going to be a fun weekend of wrestling. You know, we've got Collision, we got SmackDown, and it feels like, man, towards the end of the month, things start to really heat up. You've got, you know, Forbidden Door, which is an international opportunity, CMLL, Stardom, New Japan, AEW. There's something for everybody in August, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, it's very diverse. A lot of good quality stuff. Should be good quality stuff. It's booked to be quality. Now it's up to the talents to execute to that level. And heretofore, I love to use that. I think I used it twice today. Heretofore, that's 3 times. I don't know. We just don't sometimes appreciate what these guys and gals are going through because the bar continues to be risen, or is it raised? I don't know. I missed class that day. But I love the fact that everybody is being forced and motivated to do better. We can all get better at our jobs. The day you walk to work, go to work and you phone it in, it's the day you start failing. And that's just a fact.
Well, we hope we don't fail you. Check out jrsbbq.com. And if you're ready to save some money, hit up savewithconrad.com. And we'll see you right back here. Same bat time, same bat channel. Grilling JR with the voice of professional wrestling, Mr. Jim Ross.
Hey, folks, by the way, I'm going to be at WrestleCon. And where's that? Winston-Salem?
Oh, WrestleCade.
WrestleCade. Yeah, I'm sorry. Good job. Thanks, Conrad. That's a hot tag. Here comes Conrad. Look out. And I'm doing a show in Pittsburgh in December.
All right. You got to go see Sam Adonis when you're up that way.
You know, I don't know. I met him, I think, one of your events.
Starcast. Yes, sir.
I don't know him. He's the brother of who?
Corey Graves.
Corey Graves. Are they still using Corey?
Yeah.
He does a nice job.
Yeah, he does a great job.
He's picked up that skill set very smoothly.
I think he's underrated. I don't know if he's pissed somebody off for falling out of favor, if he's taking time off for family stuff or what. But I missed his voice over SummerSlam. I think Corey does a terrific job.
Well, I was surprised, as I mentioned earlier, that Cole and Wade Barrett did both shows. Not that they didn't do well. They did both. They had 2 good nights. But you know, there's a long shows, man.
Yeah.
And sometimes hearing another voice makes you listen a little bit more intently. So, you know, that's just that's arguable. I'm not bitching about it. Those guys did a great job. I'm proud of both of them, quite frankly, for doing such a good job. The kind of job I'm going to do at the Forbidden Door, Conrad, I'm coming with both guns blazing.
Buckle up, boys and girls. The voice of wrestling is back, and he's coming to the O2 Arena. It's happening later this month, August 24th, Forbidden Door. We'll talk about it next week right here on Grilling JR.
Thanks for being with us, everybody. We appreciate your business and your support. Have a good one.